Welcome to W.G.R. The Show. I am your host, Boogeyman. Okay, everyone, today we have one hell of a show. One hell of a show. And I mean by hell of a show, I'm talking about the Islander himself. See, Islander and I go back a lot of years, okay? And I would tell you, I released that Facebook post about what I think Pixonic should do. And me and Islander, being two real gurus of this game, people who really sit down and actually think about this game and think about the future of War Robots and where it's going, both of us have serious opinions about what the hell is happening here. So, Eddie, are you there?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, brother. Thank you so much for coming on to the Shell and taking this time with me in the first place. Out of your awesome busy Saturday. I know you're a busy man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Okay. All right. So get to this. So give you guys a quick outline of what's going on here. My point in being, just to reiterate what's going on here, what we're debating about is that Pixonic and the engine, the software engine, and the computer graphics and everything that Pixonic using is just getting too old. It's getting too old, and it's going to fall It's going to fall behind to the wayside as new games and new engines and new graphics and new computers and new ways of gaming are coming forward. It's just going to fall by the wayside unless they completely update their stuff. Now, what I mean by update is that Pixonic was created by a couple of guys, basically in Russia, who actually started Battle of Titans, and they created war robots, walking war robots, basically on a desktop in the middle of Moscow. Okay, and they, sold it to Philip, and he basically started running with this. Well, it has outgrown all of this stuff. And my opinion is that they need to shut down, get off of that rented server, get all new graphic engines like Unreal, and they need to come out and they need to put all this product in there and they need to just release it. Now, Islander has his own opinions. Take it away.
All right, guys. First of all, hello to everybody out there. Chat, how you doing? All right. Hope everybody's having a hell of a Saturday. Now, Boogeyman is coming across with this idea that servers need to be shut down and that everything needs to be revamped and placed onto a brand new type of engine. Okay, and I agree to a certain extent that rework needs to be done. Okay, but there's rework in the game that needs to be done. And any updates that are going to be done need to be done by the developer on the side, but not affecting the game as we have it right now. By shutting down the servers, I think is one of the most ridiculous ideas I've ever heard. All right, and then me and Boogie go way back, and we debate just about everything, fellas. So y'all might excuse the heat that might just come out of this a little bit. But shutting down the servers is going to lose public interest. And if we lose public interest, we lose players of the game. Not to mention that there are people out there that have time, money, and everything else invested in this game. They come down and use this game for their downtime. Okay? So the last thing you want to do is turn off the oven when you have a hot commodity. All right? You don't want to do that. That is going to lose interest in the game. To go back and revamp it and put it onto a brand new engine, okay, does not guarantee that there's not going to be bugs when this game comes back out. So let's say that we take 2 months to redo this, revamp it, as Boogie said, okay, and then we get it back and we have a crap load of bugs. Now what?
Well,
back in your court, Boogie.
Okay, well, first off, if you shut down the servers, okay, you're basically... I also said you can also leave open the test server so people can get their fix. Now, with people leaving already, Pixonic is doing something wrong. Okay, with good players that are just fed up with the way things are, obviously they're not doing something right. Okay, they need to basically shut them down And you're not going to cause any ripples because the hardcore players like you and me and the people from like NS Dark Elite or Gods and stuff, they're going to be so excited to come back to a brand new product and a brand new system and a brand new everything that they'll just play it. Imagine Pixonic puts out, all right, guys, we're going to really fix the game. Really fix it. We're going to take the time. We're going to take the 2 months. We're going to fix all the bugs. We're going to fix all the hackers. We're going to fix all the modders. We're going to fix all the people who are basically trying to cheat in this game, who are ruining this game, stuff that's overpowered, stuff that's not registering, and everything that basically we're having problems with. And taking the 2 months and then coming out with an awesome, huge, amazing product. Okay, and it would, I think, a real player, a person who's a real player will actually be more enticed to see that. But you're not just talking about your seasoned players here. I'm talking about new players, because new players are looking for that new stuff, the new stuff, what's hot, what's keeping up, all these new YouTubers and all these, gamers, because gaming, it goes from 5 years old to 65 years old. All these new things, it's going to attract new blood. It's because of what it's bringing. Because as soon as you say something like Unreal Engine, it's attractive to new youthful gamers. It's attractive to them, and they want to play on it. Now, as far as putting in a new engine is concerned, there are no bugs. There are no bugs. You see, Pixonic has an engine. Hold on. Pixonic has an engine. Pixonic is using an engine that is basically stone-aged and was basically a pioneer in the new mobile app gaming player versus player era. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. They're still using the same technology, but an updated version of the same technology, but that doesn't make it good. Now, if you have something that is so powerful like Unreal Engine, or over-the-top engine, or a new engine that is strong, it is the engine company's problem to fix the bugs, because there is no bugs, because they want to be attractive to stronger games. And you can find these games on such developers as like NetEase, okay, who have their own servers. They are booming right now. As a matter of fact, Fortnite, PUBG are all using Unreal Engine. There is so much stuff that you can do, and the maps and things can be so much bigger and cleaner, and your robots be bigger and cleaner, and you can adjust things. You can have in-game comms instead of dealing with a Discord and having people going in and out all the time. All these things are by Unreal, or these new fresh engine companies with these new software developers that will take care of anything. I have seen games without Unreal Engine be completely buggy, and games after they switched over to Unreal Engine be completely smooth as a baby's ass. Your ball's in your court.
Okay. First of all, what game are you talking about that has switched over? And using Unreal, something like Call of Duty Mobile, I believe uses Unreal.
Activision uses a basic, a same kind of engine as Unreal's engine. Yes, Activision does.
And there is still bugs and there is still lag in the game. Anytime that you have an online mobile game, okay, the fact of the matter is you got to ping to a server, okay, between wherever you live and wherever that server is, okay, and people jumping from server to server, whether they're jumping from United States to Asia, or from Asia to Europe, or whatever it may be, looking for better games on a certain time frame, okay, because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's not always 5 o'clock where you live, all right? People are jumping around, and as long as you have servers that are set up in different countries and people jumping around, you're always going to have a certain amount of lag. That's just the way the ball bounces. Even Call of Duty Mobile has lag.
Okay, but you're also talking about independent servers. You're also talking about independent servers. So you have to use a VPN, a virtual private network, to bounce around to those servers. Well, if you have stuff like what NetEase has and you have your own private servers, okay, you can basically be on an Asian server and a North American server, and it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. Activision has their own stuff, okay, but they're not using stuff like Unreal. Okay, stuff like that is absolutely flawless. But they don't want to get on these stuff as big like Activision doesn't want to get on stuff like Unreal. Because Activision doesn't have their own private servers. They're using borrowed servers. They're using borrowed servers all over the place where people have to use VPNs. Okay, and it's also the VPN's problem by not connecting you to that server. It may not be the server, because I guarantee you in Hong Kong, if you're connecting to an Asian server, which is in Hong Kong, I'm telling you, those servers are better than the United States servers. It's the VPNs that are not connecting to those servers, because those servers are designed to handle 100 times the population of the United States and Europe combined. You have to remember, there are 1.3 billion people in China alone who connect to that server. 1.3 billion. And not to mention how many people just live in Shanghai. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, your argument is flawed, because if you put those servers inside somewhere without government regulation, which is a whole nother problem, because Russia has so many government regulations out there that they regulate what can come in and come out.
Government regulation based on your opinion or based on fact?
On fact, on actual fact. Russia's regulation.
Do you have links you're going to put in the description so people can read that?
Absolutely. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Is the reason why people cannot connect.
Read that, because you can't just go out and make a statement without having anything to back that up.
I have 1,000% proof. I have 1,000% proof.
Okay.
The government of Russia has huge regulations on its internet servers. It's the reason why people from China cannot download war robots anymore. There are huge government regulations going on, and those regulations costing a lot of money. And they should take their damn game out of it's gotten to the point where they should take their game out of Russia, out of the Russian servers, and put it in a European or UN or Asian server, where there's just a lot more internet freedom out there without so much government regulation. And that's also the half of it. You're connecting to something that's in Russia, in Siberia. Move those servers a little closer. You wouldn't have such a problem. And you know what I mean? This all ties into the fact that if Pixonic wants to stay in the future and be a part of the future, because this is what this is about. It's not about right now, Eddie. It's not about right now. It's about 90 years in the future. When Coca-Cola first started in the 1800s, nobody thought Coca-Cola would stick around. But it's over 100 years later, and it's still here. In 100 years, our great-great-great-great-grandchildren can be playing war robots. And the founders, the people who started all this stuff, are right here, right now. We are living in a digital pioneer age, like the covered wagons across America. It's only digital. And what survives and what doesn't.
Dramatic, but all right.
What survives and what doesn't. What is going to survive and what is not going to survive.
In between the time that they upgrade their servers and the time span in between. Now you're going to have a lot of time span. Let's say, for argument, 2 months, right? But let's say things don't go right, and now we have 3 months and 4 months, and possibly 6 months. All right, you're going to lose a lot of new download, a lot of new people coming into the game. All right, then you're going to retain old. All right, so there's going to be more new players going on to Super Mecha Champions. There's going to be more players going on to Mecha Arena. There's going to be other new players going into Call of Duty Mobile. New downloads that you're going to be losing. You're going to lose a lot of new potential players, all right, while you're trying to fix the game. There's no way you can shut the servers down for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or any time frame, okay? You keep it running on what it's at. You do your work behind the scenes as what you're going to do, get ready to move it, and then one fell swoop, you shut it down for a day while you transfer everything over to a new server. You cannot do it all
You can't do that. That's unreal. That can't happen. See, you can keep your rented server space, and if you want to keep the game going and everything like that, and you want to keep the game going, and if you want to keep it for 2 months, 3 months, everything like that, you're going to cost yourself a lot more money than just to shut it down. And if you come back, you're going to come back to better stuff. That's the whole thing. That's the whole message. That's the whole thing to retain its players, is that the test servers will be open and they will be able to play. And when you come back, when you re-download the game, your hangar is there. I'm not saying you have to start the game all over. I'm not saying that. All your stuff is just transferred, and it's happening in other platforms and in other games. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But you have to shut it down. Unless you have your own server, the transition from flipping one switch on a server and then flipping to another switch on another server causes the game to shut down. It does. It causes the game to shut down. You have to stop, uninstall that version, and then reinstall the game, because now it's on a whole new server, a whole new engine, a whole new everything. And now if you were on the same server, right, and you just switched over engines, that's fine. You can do that. You can switch it over. But if you're going to a completely new server, you have to turn it off. And it's okay. It's going to be okay, and it will make the money that it needs to, and we'll be much happier. Instead of things costing so much goddamn money for, we feel like is a pit, it'll cost less money because it'll be less overhead that they have to pay for. 90%, 50 to 80% of what our money goes to is what Pixonic has to pay for. It's what they have to pay for. It's ridiculous. This game.
It doesn't matter what game you play, right? Even games like Mech Arena that are still in their beta mode, okay, have $100 purchases. Call of Duty Mobile has a $100 purchase. Clash of Tran have a $100 purchase. Everything has a $100
right. But it wouldn't. You can purchase,
okay. So that doesn't necessarily mean because they move over to a new server, things are going to get cheaper. All right.
Actually, it would. Actually, it would. It would get cheaper.
How do you figure it's going to get cheaper?
Because they wouldn't be running. They wouldn't have so many government regulations and taxes. Okay, because Russia is one of the highest taxed countries in the entire world. All right, they wouldn't have higher taxes. They wouldn't have to pay a lot of higher overhead to other stuff that they're basically borrowing into. That they could just pay for. Why rent an apartment when you can buy a house? And not that, have somebody take care of it for you. Because there's server maintenances out there who have these server buildings. They do their own maintenance. You just have to pay for one thing. Yes, there's always going to be $100 purchases. Yes, there is. But it's better than creating something on another graphics engine and then dumbing it down to sticking it on this piece of on this antique. Because that's really what you're paying for. You're not paying for the artist's creativity 7 years later. You're paying for the fact that it has to be on this antique. And they had to dumb it down. Because I guarantee you their graphic engines, their graphic, what do you call it? Their graphic development, their game development software is better than their own servers, than the stuff on their own servers, than their own game engine. They have to dumb it down. That's why I say...
A way would need to be found to transition without shutting it down. Because shutting it down is the worst idea of all kinds of bad ideas that you could possibly have.
Okay, well, that's not true. And that's where we're going to differ. Because that's not true. It'll give them time to make a better product. You make a better product, people are going to come. If you build it, they will come. You show up with a better product, it's going to be...
I understand what you're saying. But I'll tell you what, let me give you a little scenario. I'm not going to stop eating for 2 months because there's a buffet down the road. Okay, you got to eat in between.
Right, and there's your server, and there's your test server. So go play on that. Why can't you just play on your test server? And when you can make your little videos. We can still make our little videos on the test server. There's still the little stuff that's coming out, still the little robots that are coming out, the new weapons, the new this, and that. Plus, you're going to have so much PR, okay, and so much views about what's to come. Especially when they start releasing little teasers here and there about stuff that you haven't even seen before, about how stuff looks so much better. I'm not talking about some little photographic arena here. I'm talking about big stuff. Stuff that's even bigger. Stuff, the game modes that are, right now we have 5 game modes, and that's all that server can handle. There's no King of the Hill. There's no tag. There's no back and forth. And games are starting to grow younger. And this one is not. And it needs to. So in the meantime, in your 60 days, your fans and everybody can get their fix off of your test server stuff. Besides, you have more access to more weapons and robots there anyway. There's your views.
I don't think that the test server will handle the amount of traffic that the live server does.
How do you know that?
I don't know that. That's why I said I think.
You think, but you don't know.
I would say there's no way it could happen.
Well, how do you know?
But I know I played the test server this morning. All right, I know I got a video coming up, and you're going to see that in a little while, where the amount of lag in the game where I'm shooting somebody and nothing's happening to them.
That's because
is ridiculous.
That's also because you're dealing with prototype, and you're dealing with prototype stuff. You're dealing with stuff that has been made on another graphics engine, another graphics.
So how do you switch the population over to the test server when it can't even handle the few thousand players that are on it right now?
It can handle the few thousand players with existing stuff. Leave it at the shell. Leave it at the Typhoon. Leave it at the stuff. Leave it there. Leave it at that bot. The 2 months, 60 days is not a long time. 60 days is not that big a deal. And it's not 6 months, 7 months. Realistically, you could do this in 2 months with the amount of personnel that Pixonic has, because they have offices all over the world. With the amount of offices and people that they have, you can get this done in 2 months. War Robots is not that intricate of a game. It's not. It's not that intricate of a game. As a matter of fact, it's very, very lax. It's not that intricate. There are games that are out there that are so much more intricate than this.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to agree to disagree. Because I think
you know I won. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
No, you're not right. No, because we're going to lose brand new players coming into the game.
No, you wouldn't. You would attract 10 times more. You would attract 10 times more, and you would make 10 times the damn money because it would cost less to do it. When those, in 2 months, are you telling me in 2 months you're going to lose an entire player base? I don't think so. People here are...
You might lose 20 to 25% of your player base.
No, you wouldn't.
Plus whatever new players you got coming in.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
You're showing me more on speculation. No, you have no facts to back that up.
No, because War Robots has one of the biggest YouTube communities out there, and they're looking for more. Their advertising is through the roof. You know, and I'm not talking about just the major players like you, Adrian, Manny, 80 Gaming and stuff like that. I'm talking about just even the little guy. It's everywhere. War Robots is all over the place. And in 2 months, I mean, it's not going to be that big a deal. It really wouldn't. They wouldn't feel it at all. Whatsoever. If they could feel a play no pay, a boycott or anything like that, they could feel that stuff. I mean, this is nothing. This is nothing. Besides, we're in a pandemic right now. Like, I know it's coming to an end and stuff like that, but still, people are still playing, and people are still investing, and rightly so. You can have that cross-platform without any bugs. You can have that cross-platform. You can have people from iOS, Game Room, all these other platforms and stuff like that. Your pick, man. It wouldn't matter what device you played on. It wouldn't matter. You could have people in your clan from cross-platform all over the place. And isn't that what everybody's been waiting for? Isn't that what everybody's been wanting? Why can't we get iOS guys? What's up with the iOS? Blah, 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 blah. Isn't that what everybody's been waiting for 7 years?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Absolutely. We've been waiting for the cross-platform.
Right.
To be able to play with our friends in iOS and invite them to squads and stuff like that. Yes, we have.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever issues they have had in that, I don't know. I mean, we can match up against them in gameplay, but we cannot invite them
because their servers, their software was never meant for that. Android was a baby when iOS was out. War Robots was an iOS game before it was an Android game. It started out on iOS, and it was never meant for that, man. It's never meant for it. So in order to do that, you have to bring everything up to date.
That's fine, and I got no problem with bringing things up to date and making things better, and potentially making them cheaper and fixing the economy and lag and matchmaking and all that stuff. I got no problem with that. But you got to be able to do it on a back burner without turning off your oven.
You got
it. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes you just have to turn off the car to fix it. You can't. It's like a car. You can't keep the car running and still doing it with everything still hot. It's not going to work. You can't change an alternator on a car with it running. You got to turn it off. And that's what you're dealing with here. You're not dealing with software.
And I get that. Okay, but you can go pick up the alternator, have it on standby, turn the car off for a few moments, a few days, a few hours. Switch out that alternator and turn it right back on.
Right, but that's what they can do. But unfortunately, this alternator is the size of Texas. You're talking about an alternator the size of Texas, bro. Come on.
I tell you what, we need to leave this up to the chat and see what their opinions are, guys. Y'all tell us what you think. Is the boogeyman right, or is the Islander right?
I know I'm right. Just like the Minos is a Minotaur and not a Texas bull.
Boy, I'm gonna slap you now. Slap you. That is the thing. That's a debate for another day.
Yeah, it's another day.
So we're gonna leave it up to your viewers now to pick a side and give us their viewpoint.
All right, it's very good. Eddie, I want to thank you as always for coming on and giving me this chat and hanging out with me and chatting it up with me. I really do appreciate it. I really do value your opinion. Especially somebody who's like as rock as like you, because you like to, make sure you see everything before you make a decision. Me, on the other hand, I see a good decision and I see a good thing and I run with it until you can't run with it anymore. So we have our own opinions and I do respect you for it, man. I really do. And thank you so much for coming on here and letting us hear you and your opinions for this.
Boogie, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you taking the time to invite me. Anytime you want to come over, have me over. It'd be my pleasure to come over here and have interviews with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you again. All right, everyone. This is going to wrap up this edition of W.G.R. The Shell, and we're not going to get into any gameplay. We're just going to basically end this, and I really do appreciate it. Sit tight for tonight. For Squatter Days, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Ghost Boondab's channel. I will be there, and you can come out and squad with us and just let us know you're in the chat. 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and to about 3. So get your guys' beers and your Red Bulls ready. Come out, have a good time with us. And all right, everyone, take care. Have a great and safe weekend. I know it's beautiful outside. If you got those motorcycles, get on there. And as always, this is Boogeyman signing out. Take care.